Okay, so good morning. It's morning here, Sunday morning in Australia. Morning, Michael. How are you?
I'm wonderfully well, thanks, Tash. I'm in Cultivate. Would you believe that 70% of the population in Cultivate live in caves under the ground?
I did not know that.
It gets to 55 degrees Celsius in summer here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an opal mining town, so it was prolific up until the 90s. There were about 6,000 people here. But now there's about 1,500 people, and a lot of the industry here is tourism, less opal mining. I think we went on a tour yesterday, and the guide said that not so long ago the average age of the miners was 24. Now it's about 60. Now it's about 65.
Okay.
So there's been a real shift in I suppose the economy of this area. And it's good to be able to put a little bit of coin into the economy here by going on a tour and staying in the caravan park here. And it was pretty amazing going underground. Said it stays a constant 21 to 25 degrees no matter what's going on outside. It's cold in winter and super hot in summer. So
Okay, I love traveling around Australia with you vicariously, traveling around in a van. So if you're new to this channel or to this podcast, just a quick reintroduction. My name is Natasha Rumble, and I'm joined by Michael McDowell. And for the past few weeks, we've been recording conversations between the two of us about a particular style of meditation or approach to meditation that has the term coined by Dr. Lauren Roche and his wife and life partner Camille Murine, called Instinctive Meditation. So each week we try to introduce a new theme or topic around instinctive meditation with the hope that you, the viewer or the listener, can gather some tools in your personal toolkit and hopefully customize a meditation that's uniquely suited to you and your inner climate and your inner environment. And speaking of environments, we recognize that at this particular point in time on planet Earth, today as we record is Sunday the 7th of November.
so it's the 8th today.
Is it the 8th? Oh my God, I missed a day. It is the 8th.
It is.
I was just scrolling through my feed and I was seeing lots of hashtags and dates of 7th, 11th. Oh, and I know America, they do 11/7. They put the month first and then the date the opposite. So I'm still waking up. It's Sunday morning for us, and it is the 8th.
And it is the 8th here in Australia, and our friends in the US, it's still the 7th. Right now. So they haven't caught up with us yet. People say that Australia is 200 years behind, or Queensland's 200 years behind, but the US hasn't caught up with us as far as the day is concerned yet. So, instinctive meditation. I suppose, Tash, we like to talk about our 4 rules occasionally, and they're rules that sort of set instinctive meditation apart from other styles or traditions, I suppose. And look, one of those that I suppose one of the most important of those 4 rules is that we don't spank ourselves, and there's no inner spanking when thoughts come up. So what we acknowledge is that within our brain we have millions of neurons, trillions of connections. And when we meditate, it's not possible to turn our brain off. So it's totally natural in a meditative practice for thoughts to arise and for us to welcome them and even celebrate the fact that we're alive, human, have a full, rich life. And we recognize that we're not trying to calm our mind. So that's probably a key takeaway that's different, I suppose, to a lot of what a lot of people hear about traditional meditation techniques and goals to sit there and close your and be quiet in the mind. So that's a real big difference between our style of meditation and a lot of other teachings.
Yeah, and I guess when we talk about traditional meditation, I guess we have a reference as it arising from a more monastic path. That a lot of the traditional approaches to meditation were given and instructed by monks or nuns, perhaps, for monks or nuns. So people who lived and walked the monastic path. And I have the utmost respect for people who choose to walk the path of a monk and or a nun, or that more classical approach. And really, I would like to emphasize that we are not here to say that it's wrong or it's bad. We're here to say, do what works for you. Do what works for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a path of renunciation, right? It's renouncing a lot of stuff, whereas as the path that we've got is more a path of intimacy, being intimate with ourselves rather than renouncing ourselves, which is what a lot of that monastic thing is about. It's renouncing everything about yourself, giving your ego away completely, even giving your name away in some cases. So it's renouncing family, renouncing
material
possessions, renouncing stuff. Whereas we're talking about having an intimate life with ourselves. So it's
and
the
that
path of intimacy.
Exactly. And we have the perspective that meditation is intimacy with life and sort of seeking ways to be content with the mystery of it all. And it's not about transcending or seeking enlightenment. It's or getting to some other place. It's sort of about celebrating life and cherishing the rhythm and flows and changes and fluctuations and mystery and being in the mystery of it all. And we are living in times that are somewhat mysterious. And we are faced with a lot of challenges daily, and we're offering these tools of meditation to really support you, the viewer, and the listener, to have tools to really navigate those times in life when you're faced with challenges and big emotions, but also just on very subtle levels to appreciate and celebrate and cherish the joy and the mystery of being human. And living in these times, and I truly believe moving forwards in the 21st century that it is one of the greatest skills that we can cultivate, to know yourself, to truly know yourself in a time when we're being exposed to these sort of profit generating algorithms that have the power and capacity and actually we have proof for that they are manipulating and controlling our desires, our behavior, our thinking, and therefore who you are. And I really believe it's supremely important now to really connect with your own instincts and your own desires and your own loves and your own truths. And meditation is an amazing tool to be able to do that.
Look, I suppose it gives you the opportunity to see more fully the reality of life that's right in front of you. To sense the world around you as being your reality. And it's a practice, right? We meditate to practice to tune ourselves up for life. And we want to engage with the world around us as it really is.
Yeah.
Yep.
To
And be
take
great and be grateful for the world as it really is, rather than so as we practice more, I suppose we can see the reality of that around us, that things are pretty good for us. They're pretty good. We've got a lot of good things going. We've got a beautiful planet to live on. We've got, most of us have got food, we've got work, we've got shelter, and in around us, most of us have got people that love us, you know. So it's something that I think that we want to cultivate and being grateful for, you know. And look, to be honest, I suppose I'm still seeing a news feed that's telling me about the US elections. And we've seen over the past 12 months, I suppose, at least a great amount of division, you know, division, separation of people, looking at what's different about people and really bringing that to the fore, rather than, I suppose, looking to see what's common in people. And the commonalities in people, apart from saying that 99.996% of everyone's DNA is exactly the same and there's only a tiny bit that's different, but what's common between people is that everybody wants to have a happy life. Everybody wants people to love.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you're actually psychotic, you know, unless you're actually unwell, everybody has the same goal. So we're essentially all the same. And it's interesting. One of the sutras, one of the Radiant Sutras, wakes us up a little bit to that, to the fact that we're all similar. So maybe is it a good time for me to share that now, Tash?
Sure. Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah. So it's Sutra 101. The reality of the divine is apparent everywhere apparent, especially among people who haven't even thought about it. The very nature of I consciousness, to be an individual, is in essence divine. The excitement of the Eternal One is throbbing in the heart of every creature. Know this and be without superiority, inferiority, or resentment of your limitations. The reality of the divine is everywhere apparent, especially among people who haven't even thought about it. You know, and sometimes there can be, amongst people who practice yoga or meditation, there can be a bit of spiritual snobbery, right? It's like, I'm spiritual, I'm meditating for hours a day, and I'm in line with my chakras. They're all talking to me and I'm listening to the divine, and my third eye's open, my pineal gland's clear of it's uncalcified and all that type of stuff. Everybody on the planet is in essence an aspect of the divine as well, that we want to recognize that we're all the same.
Yeah, and again, it's so important to be reminded of that essentially, you know, there is goodness in all people, and as you say, the desire to live a good life and to be a good person. And it's not to minimize the fact that there are systems that are existing that oppress people and marginalize the marginalized, and that there truly are people who are suffering, and there truly are people who are not living in safety and abundance.
Yeah.
But if more people did practice this practice of appreciating our similarities and respecting our differences, and practicing gratitude for what we do have, with the intention of serving others, with your abundance, if you're fortunate enough to have abundance. And your abundance might be in time or knowledge rather than material abundance, or abundance of the natural world and these things. But if we can all start to really listen to each other with respect and compassion, I think a lot of this intense division might subside a little. And to build that skill of listening to others, truly deeply listening to others, we must first be able to listen to ourselves, truly deeply listen to our inner wisdom and our inner instincts and our inner desires and our inner cravings. And that is, in essence, a great skill that, we hope that we can support you and help you, or even just inspire you to cultivate within yourself. To recognize that there are very powerful and profitable algorithms that amplify our fears and prejudices, and so powerful, and has been put in place to literally hijack our human nature. There are very, very smart people who are profiting from understanding human nature and monetizing it, capitalizing on it. And they're not bad or evil people. It's just a very smart and very profitable business model. Again, one of the biggest acts of rebellion, and we can use the word sovereignty or power or self-autonomy, is to know yourself and to understand yourself and listen.
Yeah. Oh, that's that development of sovereignty. Being, I suppose there's two aspects to sovereignty that I see, and I think we'll probably have a whole conversation on sovereignty. We might even see if we can have someone come in and chat with us about it. Two aspects of that I see are being able to say yes and no to your yes and no from your own nature. Yep. And the other aspect is being able to set and maintain boundaries of what is right for me and what is, and that's similar to saying yes and no, but I suppose it's similar. It's a different set of words for saying the same thing, I suppose. But developing strong set of boundaries and really knowing what's good for me and what's not good for me. Yeah. So should we go on with the plan that we had for today a little more?
Carry on, Michael.
Hey?
You stick to the plan. Let's keep moving.
So, look, one of the tools of many meditation traditions is the use of mantra, right? Some people use mantra as japa, which is a repetition of a mantra over and over again. And I suppose one of the things that does is it gives something for a focus. So someone doing a japa might be Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, over and over again, and that brings a certain focus and attention to something specific. And look, if you're a lover of Shiva, then it's a devotion to Shiva. Yeah, the one of the Hindu godheads. It could be Om Mani Padme Om, which is, I think it's a Tibetan Buddhist mantra, and I don't know, won't even pretend to know what the name of it is, what the meaning of it is. So the use of mantra in that way as a japa is a kind of an ongoing devotion, as well as it doesn't, if you're doing that, it really doesn't allow other thoughts to come in, right? So that's, from those perspectives, it's keeping you focused, keeping you in a practice that stops the mind going. It's supposed to stop the mind going into other thoughts, right? Into other awarenesses. We use mantra, I suppose, in a different way in our practice as a gateway, and if we find a sound that we love, something that we really love, and it might be just something like or it's a sound that comes up from joy. Just imagine, like, what type of sound do you make when you're eating a piece of beautiful chocolate, or you went out for dinner last night? Tatch, I don't know if Nathan made something special for dinner last night that you just went, oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah, actually, we had last night, I had dinner at a friend's house, and we had a curry night, and we all had to bring a dish, and there were several of us, and I was eating my meal with all this assortment of different curries on my plate, and there was a cinnamon quill, or half a cinnamon quill, in my food, and I picked it up, and I sort of sucked the curry off it, and the taste immediately sort of exploded in my mouth, this really potent, pungent cinnamon flavor that was, it just rocked me. And I was like, wow, it's surprising and exhilarating, because it was such a big flavor. So I guess that could have been a mantra. It was sort of fun. It was exciting. It's like, wow, that's amazing. I was shocked almost.
Yeah. To recall that now, it's just like, oh yeah, that was really good. I just got a little bit of feedback. I don't know. Yeah, so that idea of the sounds that we make spontaneously from joy as being a mantra, or what if we came up with something that we wanted to bring into our lives right now, like if we wanted to say, I just want to be at home with myself, or I want to bring in love.
Yeah, so a mantra could be sort of evoking or calling in a particular mood or feeling or sensation that you want to infuse yourself with. That could be a mantra.
Exactly. So, we can come up with all these Sanskrit sounds and whatnot that are, they have a vast depth to them that is historically, is said to resonate with our inner selves, the Sanskrit language, but there's also our native tongue as well.
Yeah, and I guess what might appeal to one person or the other is simply the tonal quality that speaks to them in that moment. Just the sounds and the tone that might give them this sense of, maybe a sense of being at home, or whatever it is that they're sort of chasing in that moment. It might be a feeling of, wow, I want to be excited and thrilled.
Yeah.
I might want to feel quite calmed and soothed, and
so you may get to the end of the day and just need to relax and just sink into a big sigh, you
Yeah.
know. But I suppose one of the teachings that we have is to let the mantra resonate through us and in us, rather than it being a mechanical, repetitive, machine-like tool that has no soul to it, I suppose. But if we were to have a word, for example, if I said I just want to be at home with myself. Home to me has always been one of the mantras that I'll use, and I might only say it out loud once or twice, right? But we can talk about levels of the auditory experience. So we can speak out loud. Home. Home. And as we get more familiar and more intimate with our mantra, and I'll just stick with home. It may turn into just a whisper, and just or get a little quieter, saying I'm just going to be at home. And it may become even a little quieter, and it just turn into a whisper, home. The next level down from that whisper is a subvocal internalization, because we've got our internal auditory system as well. So not just dancing on the inside, but I'm talking to myself on the inside, and letting that word home start to fill every cell without it coming out of my mouth. And then internally you can use a mantra, even just let it be an internal whisper. So it's just like I'm whispering inside my head. And if we take a few minutes, just a couple of minutes to do this, from the full vocalization, through the whisper, through the subvocal voice, through the subvocal whisper, and then just allow the energy of our mantra, that energy of home, to hum and live in ourselves. Then it starts to fully embody you. So I start to come to the awareness that my whole body is just speaking of being at home, that I'm totally at home in myself, and it's in every cell. So like you said before, Tash, that bhavana meditation, that infusing ourselves with sound, starts, give ourselves the sound, let it turn down, and then bring it inside, then bring it in deeper, until it's just singing in ourselves. And it may be that even your vocalization of your mantra, whether it's home or love, joy, peace, freedom, that internalization, you may only say the word out loud once or twice. If it's right for you, and it just starts to buzz in you, and you can just let it down, and then just, that's your gateway, that's your doorway in to your meditation time, into your practice. Then feel what it's like to be joy. Feel what it's like to have peace humming in all of your cells. Feel what it's like to be at home with yourself.
Yeah.
For a period of time. And during that time, we know that having infused yourself with that your beautiful mind, that we can't and won't try to quieten down, will start to talk to you and give you the tuning up. How can I be more at home with myself? How can I be more joyful? And your subconscious will bring up to show you what it is that you need to have more of that in your life. And that's where it's not wrong for thoughts to arise. That's where we celebrate it, we embrace it.
Yeah.
We hold ourselves tenderly through that process. Rule number 4, hold ourselves tenderly through that process. So that idea of, okay, well, what is it that I need? That's where you find your mantra. You don't find your mantra by somebody telling you this is your mantra.
Yeah. So that process of inquiry, inner inquiry, and so essentially and simply choosing a mantra that for you in that moment feels appropriate, feels natural, and then using that chosen mantra that you've selected and connected to, and using it as a doorway, as you say, a gateway to go in and to celebrate the inner adventure. And so, as you just mentioned, and I know that we're going to constantly reflect on our rules, but in this practice, the key attitude is always welcoming, embracing, and welcoming the sort of spaciousness of our inner world, welcoming and embracing the movement of our minds, and to listen, like truly deeply listen to what is trying to get your attention. So the real value of learning to listen, so that we don't kind of simply go through life reacting to every drama or every wave of turbulence and every negative thought that comes our way. And instead we, as you say, in this sort of almost succession and cyclical and rhythmic process of going deeper, instead we learn to listen more deeply, so that we stay curious. We stay curious. We're not scrutinizing with our attention. We're not focusing and concentrating and controlling. We're almost being childlike, with this childlike inquisitiveness and maybe the curiosity of a scientist who's just objectively watching and witnessing, but more importantly enjoying and cherishing the inner adventure. And then we take a step back, and then maybe we'll make decisions in our real life that's coming from that wise and connected and unified self. And so here's the real power and potential and joy and benefit of listening. We're maybe a little more effective in the way we communicate and the way we approach life.
Absolutely. One of the things I think is that in that childlike thing, there's kids are spontaneous, right? There's spontaneity in kids that now I envy. And I think that childlike, joyful, spontaneous view of the world is something that we have the ability to bring back into our lives that has been taken out.
Well, absolutely. It's a part of you. It's a part of who you are. And it should be there still. Maybe it's buried under some big boulders that we've put in place because we had to be grown-ups and do adult things.
That's right.
But it's still there, and it might sort of squeeze through the cracks of the boulders and make an appearance. And again, we need to really listen to those myriad of aspects of who we are, who we were, who we're becoming, and recognize that we are not, in the present moment. We are sort of existing in this multi-dimensional time reality, and we are there is a part of us that's in the past, and there is a part of us that's projecting to the future. And all of this comes into our meditation practice. And again
Yes.
and again and again, we need to remind ourselves to hold ourselves gently as we're reflecting or projecting, and to embrace it all, and celebrate, and really try to what's the word I'm looking for, to almost cultivate that childlike spontaneity and curiosity, celebrate it, and play with your meditation. We don't need to be so serious. There's so many ways we can explore our inner world with an attitude of playfulness, if that seems interesting to you at that time.
And appropriate, I suppose. One of the things that I notice about our teacher, Lauren Roche,
Mm,
is that in all the seriousness, he's joyful, childlike. There's humor in life, and to see the humor in life in amongst all of the stuff that we were talking about before, the not so good, to still be able to see that life is brilliantly funny, spontaneous,
mm,
and fun. It's,
mm, mm,
it's what we want, right?
mm. Yeah, and it's what we want.
What we
and
want.
and I think it's what we want. And one of the tools that I'm often practicing myself and offering to my students is the tool of these sort of using elicitation questions
Mhm.
like, what do I want?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
do I want? Or who am I? And these are the big universal questions that have been asked for millennia of oneself.
Mm.
What do I love?
Yeah.
Um, what it might be like, what do I want to eat? Or what's the next step in my growth and
Yeah.
development and evolution? Or what do I need to feel full or nourished or nurtured? And so if you are listening to this and you are a person who's like, well, I don't know what my mantra is, I don't know what I want to evoke, maybe start with some of these elicitation questions. So just, sitting, laying, walking, dancing, whatever it is, and ask yourself, like, what do I want? And the answers might not come straight away,
Mm.
but can you remain open and curious uh, in in that process of the mystery unraveling, and the or even just living in the mystery? Can you remain curious and kind with yourself? And so in this process, we learn to listen to um, deeply, and to trust life, and really start to develop this sense of being at home in the universe, and letting that feeling sort of wash over you, like being
Yeah.
okay with not having the answers. If you don't know what direction or what feeling or what mood or what mantra to choose,
Mm.
um,
Mm.
learning to trust life, and that in time, if we keep sort of planting these seeds of inner inquiry, the little voices, the little kind of love notes inside will speak to you and reveal themselves to you.
One of the thing, one of the, I suppose, the other differences between this instinctive meditation approach and others is that it can change moment to moment, day to day, week to week.
And it should, because we're not static people. We're
Yeah,
in
yeah,
motion, we're changing, we're evolving.
that's right. So yes, my comeback to mantra is home, right? There's something about
Yeah.
that I will come back to over and over again, is just being home here, being at home with myself. But that as Tasha's saying, if you may sit down or stand up and say, what do I need today? And that for you may change on a daily basis. And there's lots of traditions that will say this is your mantra and this is going to be your mantra forever, and make sure you get the pronunciation of it right, otherwise it's not going to do you any good, right? That's not the case. This is totally your own thing for your instincts to drive, for yourself to drive, for your inner wisdom to drive. And that's a wonderful thing about the practice that we've been given.
Michael, this might rock you a little bit, but I'm going to ask if we can deviate from the plan for a moment.
Go for it. I'm spontaneous.
I feel the urge. I'm not going to say I've been called, but I feel the urge to share Sutra 76.
Cool, go for it.
And maybe to wrap up there. And I really hope you guys are enjoying these conversations and taking little pieces that are going to support you and help you along your meditation journey. Feel free to get in touch with us. We'll link how to do that in the description. But Sutra 76, I think it kind of ties in with what we've been talking about. And so we'll close with Sutra 76. Beloved, reject the reality of everything. Deny the universe of appearance. Say no to the phenomenal world. Reside in the secret place inside. As joy rises in the heart, at this sudden freedom, enter there and dwell. So reside in the secret place inside. As joy rises in the heart at this sudden freedom, enter there and dwell. Thank you so much, Michael. I enjoy meeting you for our next chat and hearing about your next location on your big mysterious adventure. Thank you guys. Enjoy your evening, your morning, your day, wherever you are. We'll speak to you next time.
Bye-bye.